So what do you do when you've lost everything and you feel it's all over? What do you do? Let's find out. Hey, thanks for coming by again and joining me today. So what do you do when you feel like you've lost everything, where not just you've had a shitty day, but everything seems to have just crumbled? And this could be like actually, you physically lost things or somebody or something like that, or just emotionally or psychologically, where everything just feels like it's crumbled and you're like, ugh. And your whole kind of life feels like shit and you're just completely f***ed off and you've just had enough. What do you do? Well, in today's video I want to kind of talk about that and a sort of a technique that I found really helped me, and hopefully it can help you.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
Things have happened, stuff's taken place, and you're in a place where you just feel everything's just collapsed and crumbled. As I said, it could be you physically lost something or someone, or just things have got too much and everything's just collapsed around you. And it's a very, very tricky time, because on the one hand you might have people who are around you who mean the best and are supportive, but everything they say is the wrong thing. This is not anything to do with them, there's nothing they're doing wrong, but just sometimes when you're in that frame of mind, and I'm speaking from personal experience, when you're in that particular frame of mind, you almost only want to hear one thing. And if whatever anyone says, no matter how good, how perfect what they're saying is, if it's not what you want to hear, it's the wrong thing. You're not necessarily horrible to them or anything like that, but you're kind of just either physically or emotionally sort of pushing them away because you're not hearing what you want to hear. And more often than not, you're not going to hear what you want to hear. In the case of, say, a breakup of a relationship and it's something you didn't want, you probably want that person to sort of be back with you, or you want to be back with that person. So you want things that people are saying to you, things like, oh, I think you'll get back together again. I think, let's see how we can get you back together again. That's what you want to hear, but you're not going to hear that, let's be honest. And that's a difficulty, because whatever they do say, as right as it is, it's not what you want to hear, and you kind of disregard it. In the case of, say, maybe losing someone for a death, ultimately the thing you want to hear in that situation is the person's going to come back to you, and that's not going to happen. There's not going to be some miracle and they're going to resurrect, but that's what you want to hear. That you want to hear that it was all a bit of a bad dream and the person will appear and everything's going to be good again. So no matter what people say and how well they mean, you're not going to hear what you want. And this goes for pretty much every situation, because all stress comes from not wanting the situation to be as it actually is. All the things people are going to say to you are not the things you want to hear, because you want to hear basically that situation never actually happened, and that's what causes all stress, not wanting the situation to be as it actually is. And it's difficult, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is an easy situation to deal with. So whatever people say to you, it's not what you want to hear. Now, how to get over this, how to get around this or deal with this situation where you feel you've lost everything, because it could be just one thing that you've sort of lost, whether it's person, thing, whatever, but the knock-on effect, an emotional knock-on effect to that, can be huge, absolutely huge, and sometimes to disastrous consequences. And people do things out of the effects of that, and it can have such terrible consequences. Again, speaking from personal experience, and I know. So it's a difficult thing. How do you deal with that situation where everything has got, you've lost everything, and you feel, at least, even if you physically haven't, you feel that you've lost everything, and that's the main thing. Your perception of your world is that you have lost everything. What do you do? How do you cope with that? What do you do? Well, this is easier said than done, I know, but this is actually a very simple thing. What my recommendation is, and again, this is from personal experience, is to become ridiculously laser focused on one thing. Just one thing. Everything else, everyone else. Just focus on one thing only. Now that thing could be literally anything. It could be reading a book. That's it. Just put all of your efforts, your attention, your energy, your focus, everything to just reading that book. That's it. Forget everyone else. As I said, everyone else, everything else. Just be ridiculously, obsessively focused on one thing and one thing only. Now, this might sound a little bit mental. It will be, it's coming from me. But how this works is because you just throw everything into this one bit. Now, the point is it has to be something that you enjoy and you like, not something that someone suggests or someone thinks that's a good idea, and also nothing that's too kind of involved and complex. It's got to be something that's quite simple and something that you truly love, because no matter how shitty and how f***ed off with everything and possibly, you know, just had enough of the world, be all in on that thing when you do it. So if you do that today, then even if you just go back to bed for the rest of the day and do nothing, just think, tomorrow I'm going to get up, I'm going to do that one thing, and I'm going to do that one thing amazingly. The thing is, this one thing that you're just going to focus on and just do, just be all in and all your attention, never mind phone calls, phones, nothing, TV, focus on just one thing and just be all in and really kind of pick something that you actually like doing. You know, like I don't like going to the gym, so if my sort of thing was I'm not gonna pick going to the gym because I don't like it and I don't get any enjoyment from it, and it's hard to then to throw myself into it and really focus 100%. Whereas something like, say, watching comedy films or watching comedy sort of box sets, that's something that's one, fun, enjoyable, I like to do, plus it's relatively simple to do, and you can kind of absorb yourself into that, and that's it. You know, even if you do that for 2-3 hours, 4 hours, whatever a day, just do that, and that will get you through an amazing amount of crap. And just that single focus, it's bizarre how it would just work, and that would sort of start to get you, kind of pull you out of the mire and out of the drudgery and into almost back to sort of reality. And this whole concept of being focused on one thing will, I guarantee, just change, well, it will change your life, because it allows you to, in a good way, block out everything else, including the kind of negativity that easily sort of creeps up like weeds into your mind. And if you are feeling super down and super kind of off with the whole world and everything is just collapsed, you just need that one little thing to be able to grasp onto. And it's, if you find something that you absolutely love to do, your true passion will naturally be there, even though you might not feel interested in doing something that you've always loved doing, but that true passion is always going to be there. You know, no matter how crappy you're feeling about the world or about yourself, that passion will always be there. And these situations are the times where, when everything else is kind of collapsed around and peeled back, that will always be a constant. That true passion will always be a constant. I don't wish it on anybody to be in that kind of low state, but it's a perfect position to kind of discover what your true passion is. That's what happened to me. I said I don't wish it on anybody to be where I was, but because everything else, all the kind of superficiality and crap has kind of disappeared because you've got no interest in anything, but the one thing that would sort of drive you, that you truly care about, is always going to be there. And seeing that and doing something laser focused just on that, one will bring an element of joy to your heart and to your mind and to you, because it's your true thing. You're connecting what truly drives you. And secondly, then as you build up, that puts things into perspective as well with the rest of the world, and then that thing will always kind of carry you through. If you start looking at something and doing something that you feel that you ought to do, one, you're not going to get enjoyment from it, you're not going to be laser focused and stick to it, and you're kind of going to veer off and then kind of start spiraling with negative thoughts and that kind of crap. So, you know, you've got to be honest with yourself, and at the time of desperation, when everything else has kind of fallen apart and you've lost everything, you know, it's easy to sort of just look inside and see what that one true thing you love doing is, and just do that or something attached to that, and that will, at least with a laser focus on that thing and just not doing anything else, then that will kind of bring you back up into reality, into the world, as a much, I don't want to say better person, because obviously it takes a little bit more than that, but a more perhaps together person and a more aligned person with your true passion. And then that, as you build up going forward, everything's kind of then in the right place. So you'll be much better off, and the world will be much better off for you being there and rebuilt in a better, more solid way. Wow, that's been super deep, but I wanted to sort of make this video because, again, it's a subject that I'm very, very passionate about, and it's really, I feel, you know, it's important to say that. So, you know, that's do it. If you are ever just think of that one thing and just laser focus on it and everything else, and you will be much, much, much better for it. So that's all for today. I hope you got some value from this. If you have, smash that like button till it's blue, and subscribe if you haven't. I really do appreciate it, and hit the bell notification so you know when a new video is being released. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye bye.